Welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk. And this, my friends, this is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. And I am back in the seat, Mott. We're mic'd up now. We're gonna try this out, huh? This is exciting. We've really got this. We've jumped the boat. We've got the intro. We've got the mic. We're totally selling out. I hate us, but we're trying out some new things. We're gonna be doing a lot of on-location stuff. So Mott and I are getting adjusted to this kind of style. By the way, the first test with the hello everybody blew Mott's face off. It was awesome. And I'll tell you what blows my face off, amongst other things, Dolcetto. Dolcetto is a grape that is getting a lot of press in my mind and got a lot of pizzazz after we did it on Wine Library TV not too long ago, Mott. Maybe 6, 7, 8 months ago, and that's what we're doing again. Maybe even a year now. I mean, it's been a while. I think September of 07. But after that show, we found some good ones, and a lot of people started jumping on the bandwagon. I've been getting a lot of emails of how happy they are that they've been drinking Dolcetto, how we're shocked at the value, 13, 16, 16. Not inexpensive, but Mott, if you take in the fact of the euro and the dollar, still very well-priced wines. Dolcetto, known as the little sweet one, that's the grape, that's the name of the grape, that's what it's known as, like the slang term. Funny, because not sweet at all. Dry, tannic, food-friendly wines, perfect with mama's pasta, you know? And I think Dolcetto brings together some of the most interesting wines from Piedmonte, and the Piedmont region is very interesting to me. You know, Barolos, Barbarescos, Barberas, all great wines. Dolcetto, a little bit under the radar, a little bit not, a very intriguing grape, and I'm excited about trying these 3 today. We're gonna break them down, see what we think, see if anything brings this thunder, and I'm excited about that. A couple other things. You might notice we're under some new digs. We got all these buttons above us. Excited about that. Speaking of one of the buttons right up here. Now, if you're following us on iTunes, because a lot of you now are, because we had thousands of signups after iTunes put us on the front page. Did you see that? That's crazy. Big shout out to Apple. We are very humbled by that. So thousands of new signups in the first week of July. Also know that you can go to WineLibraryTV.com because that's where we have all the buttons and the signups. And right up there, the contests. We have an active contest, 2 active contests. You want to go to France? Mott, I've heard we got thousands and thousands of entries for France. Spoof contest to come and see Bottle Shock with me. And I'm really excited about the spoof contest. You need to enter and make a video of yourself spoofing my show. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Mott, link it up. When I Mott link it up, by the way, that means, are we gonna have the little pop-up? Not yet, soon, right? But there's links below. If you scroll down, there's little links below. Spoof me, enter the contest, and we're gonna pick a couple finalists, then you're gonna vote on it. And what's really cool is I gotta give a big shout out to American Airlines for hooking up the travel for the winner and myself out to San Fran. So big shout out to those guys. Here it is, Mott, zooming in. It's here. The new 4th generation wristband, and it is a sniffy. You might notice the nose into the glass. I'm very excited about this. Now, everybody knows the first people are gonna start getting it this week are the people that bought the book on Father's Day. Then if we have enough left, we're gonna go to people that bought the book. So if you sent an email to a receipt that you bought the book to books@winelibrary.com. So we're sending those out. That was the rule from the get-go. Don't be mad. I know you might have came and saw me at a book signing and bought it there. You can scan your receipt in and send it in. We'll honor that. We've been establishing these rules forever. What you need to know about this wristband, unlike the other ones that were printed in 25,000 produced runs, except the first one. First one was 5,000, next 2 were in 25,000. This is only 3,000. We're gonna always make the 4th edition the rarest. This is the one you're gonna want in years to come. It's gonna be like the rare, you know how like there's action figures, but there's one that's always worth more money? You're like, why? Why was like the clown in Spawn worth more money? Short run. That's what we're doing with this one. This is a pimp ass wristband, Mott. Why don't you put that sucker on? Really excited about the 4th gen wristband, and they'll be starting to deliver this week. Congratulations to everybody who bought the book. Hopefully you like the book. That's all. And if you want to get in last minute to get the wristband, I can't guarantee. We have to do the numbers first, so don't go rush and buy the book just because. You should, but let's get into this, Mott. Giacomo Grimaldi, 2006 Dolcetto, $13 US. If I'm correctly remembering, the Grimaldi was the one that really rocked the house on the old Dolcetto episode. I could be wrong. As a matter of fact, Mott, link up the old Dolcetto episode. Let's give a little rinse here, and let's get into this wine. Excited, hardcore holly. Look at that, look at this like shoulder muscle, I mean crazy. Hardcore holly, that's a little new school for me. Anyway, let's give this wine a sniffy sniff. Very pretty nose. I get a very heavy chocolate covered cherry component on the nose. I really like the nose. A little dusted cocoa, chocolate, shaved milk chocolate spread, really chocolate. I mean, Count Chocula has entered the room. Some bright strawberry, raspberry kind of feel going on. Very pretty nose, very pretty. Give us a little bit of smell. I'd like to see from your more amateurish nose. I'm just kidding. Just, you know, not as smelling as many wines. You get the beautiful, right? Delicious, like chocolate, pie, strawberries.
Candy.
Candy-esque. I mean, very, very good. Let's give it a whirl. Nice dryness. Did anybody win the contest with the 3 action figures? We have to confirm that. We have to do that. With the mic, it's funny. It's a whole new experience?
Whole new experience.
Awesome. Very dry. Very dry. Great back end tannins. I get some really interesting green tea meets chocolate meets raspberry kind of components on the back end. I like this, but you've got to like the green black tea thing to like this wine at all, because it's a heavy dosage. This is a young wine. The tannins are pretty firm and well developed. Kind of like, you know, when you get like a 6-pack. This is not a 1-pack. This is a 6-pack in its tannins. I mean, very developed and defined tannins on the mid palate and the finish. Good brightness of fruit. I like this black tea thing that's going on in this wine. But if you don't like black tea, you're gonna be out. So you gotta really understand your palate before you jump into this. I'm feeling it. I think it's a very solid Dolcetto. Good effort, good bright fruit. I'm gonna go 89 plus points. It didn't have the oomph charisma to go over the top, and it's still a little young, and maybe in a year or two, or with some decanting, it could go there, but a very special wine. And who cares about the score anyway? Because I'm not good at scoring wine, if you haven't realized by now. It's all about the tasting notes and exploring new wines, and if you've never had a Dolcetto, and you know you like black tea, this wine's for you. That's the key component about this. Let's move on. The Petro Rinaldi Madonna di Como 2005 Dolcetto di Alba, $16 US. Let's give it a little rinse, and then we will go into a sniffy sniff. Sniffy sniff will never be the same when I wear this wristband. I mean, let's give this wine a sniffy sniff. I feel like we need to go like do something without that, like have like a vacuum in the background play every time I say sniffy sniff. Let's give it a little sniffy sniff. Now this is a more refined nose, a little bit more classic. This smells a little bit more like a Dolcetto to me, a little less candied-esque. I get a little bit of like a rubber tie. You know what this smells like? I'm gonna tell you. I've never been bashful to call it like I see it. This legitimately smells like, do you remember like the bike section in Toys R Us? Like you'd go and all the bikes were hanging? That's what this smells like, and I think it's like a new tire smell is what I really equate it to. This smells like Toys R Us, 1985, Woodbridge, New Jersey. Me walking in looking for some Star Wars or Transformers or wrestling figures, but then being a little fascinated by the bikes and walking down that aisle and smelling that new BMX tire smell that we all know if you're in my age group. I get that very heavily. It's very intriguing. I get a little black currant as well. So somebody dropped a little black currant in that aisle. A little bit of a tighter nose, but a little bit more refined, kind of interesting. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Let's give it a whirl. Okay, this is big boy juice, like Big John Stud. I mean, this is big boy juice. Big tannins, big ripe fruit. I get sour cherries, my friends, and they're really sour. Like I'm puckering hard, like a 98-year-old grandma's face. But I like it. I like the elegance of this wine. There's something about the versatility of Dolcetto. 2 very different wines so far. Both appeal to my palate. You know, you like what you like. Some people don't like Dolcetto. I don't see how. I find this wine extremely interesting. Tar City, USA. That's what's going on in my palate right now. Enormous amounts of flavor of tar, asphalt, black licorice, and sour cherry. A very well-made wine. I enjoy the transition of the mid-palate. It's firm and ripe, crisp, clean. This is a fresh wine. A lot of people in Europe use this term. It's very fresh and bright and vibrant. I do get a little bit of a violet component on the back end as well, a little floral action. Really intrigued by the BMX bike, tire nose, right down to the fact that this annihilates my palate. It is very austere and difficult, but I'm enjoying the challenge. Like some of the pretty girls in high school like the bad boy, they like the challenge. Some guys just like going out with that girl that's a pain in the ass. They like the challenge. I like the challenge in wine, not in people. And so I'm very high in this wine. I, however, need to make it very clear that you need to beware. We need a beware sticker. Be careful, a little Ghostbusters action. Not for every palate. Maybe if we put a tongue in. Be very careful. My gut feeling tells me 7% of you out there are gonna like this wine. People that are kind of tired of the fruit, kind of looking for extremes, just like with white wines. The reason we all end up loving Riesling, Riesling's not just a girly sweet drink, you clowns. I'm just speaking to the three of you out there that are really pretentious, but you're coming into the Vayner Nation. The fact of the matter is, Riesling is talked about by the wine nerds of the world at the highest level because we're all addicted to the acid. It's all about being addicted to acid, my friends, and the acidity and the tightness of this wine is so special. I really like this wine. I'm gonna score this wine 91 points. I'm gonna put a big ass star by it. Chris, put a big ass, not Mott, Stanisi, put a big star by that 91 point score because I believe in my heart the majority of people watching the Thunder Show right now will not be able to handle this wine. What? And I could be wrong, you might not like it, but I find it extremely good. See what Mott says. While he's sipping, let's give a big shout out to New York Pete. Happy belated birthday. Mike Bows, and happy 50th birthday to Chip Ranglin. Big shout out to you. Also, big shout out to everybody in Portland, Seattle, and in Maryland that I came across on this last trip. It was amazing. Mott's struggling. What do you think, Mott?
It's different.
Do you like it?
No, but...
Okay. No.
It's not old world.
It's just...
It's so different. I can't articulate what it is.
It's not super dry either. It feels like you're gonna be dry, but then you're not, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It feels like you're gonna be dry in the palate, and then you're not. Very interesting wine. I'm very high on it. To me, this is the kind of wines, I didn't expect this either. This is what I'm looking for, a little different off the beaten track, but very good food wine. You give me some pheasant right now, some mashed potatoes, spaghetti. This has a lot of potential to go with a lot of things in my opinion. I'm very high on this wine because of its uniqueness and its quality. The winemaker, who I have no idea who it is, really ripped house here. Really came through in my opinion. Very good wine. The tar and the asphalt and the violets and the sour cherries. I mean, it's very distinct and very obvious, yet confusing. I mean, just a very fascinating, like a very good novel, right? I mean, just like a mystery, right? Like a great mystery movie. You're just like getting in there. I'm very fascinated by the wine. And even you, Mott, you don't like it, but it's weird. I can see it in your face. It's not like you're normal, like, no. You don't like it, but you're like, but maybe I do. Like, it's kind of weird, the way your face looked, you know? No, you're pretty convinced you don't like it.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Azalea, 2006, the Brico di Aurelio Dolcetto di Alba. This wine rolls in at 16 US dollars. Let's see what this wine has. Very interesting wine. Very interesting how both Dolcettos have been completely different. Let's see what's going on here. Let's give it a sniffy sniff, man. I'm enjoying this wristband. This is cool. Yellow always rocks the house. And I like the whole like WineLibraryTV.com thing on the back here. See that? Now this on the sniffy sniff is a little bit different. Little herbaceous, which I kind of like. Kind of similar to the Rinaldi with a little bit more fruit towards the Grimaldi. So kind of I feel like we're like watching an Italian soccer game. There's a little creaminess on the nose here too, almost like creme fraiche, kind of interesting. Let's give it a whirl. Different experience, huh? You got used to it already. Nice, pretty basic. Kind of find it similar to the last two wines. Driest of the bunch. Has also a little bit of tar bubble. I get a lot more strawberry than sour cherry on this wine. Nice polish, good solid effort. The least distinct of the bunch, the most like Dolcetto to me, like that average pumped out, just let's make Dolcetto. If that makes sense. A little less soul, a little bit more rounded, maybe a little oak in here that kind of mellows it out. I don't know, good mouthfeel. I see some people enjoying the pleasantries of this wine. However, I think there's a lot of $8 to $12 wines that act this way. Whereas the last two wines distinctly have things going on. This one kind of just runs right down the middle. And for me, the only thing you don't want to do is be in the middle. In life, in wine, at all. And so, little sour sweet tar candy. Other than that, basic city. I'll go 87 points. Nothing much to get excited about. Definitely not the distinct wild factor of the Rinaldi, and definitely not the deliciousness factor of the Grimaldi. Just a nice effort from Azalea, which is a tremendous producer of New World Piedmont wines. That's what I think, Mom. So, 91, 89 plus, 91 star, 89 plus, and 87 points. A good solid show of Dolcetto. I really hope this induces you to go try it out. I think Dolcetto is tremendous pizza wine, hot wing wine. I loved it when it was $8, $9, and it wasn't that long ago. The dollar, hopefully there'll be correction, but still very good value. A great way to taste some of the nuances that I think you love in Barolo and Barbaresco for a third of the price. Super pumped about the new digs. I hope you click all these things up here, following me around. By the way, 3 days in, Mott, the 6 buttons, guess which ones click the most?
Where are you?
Where is Gary traveling? Which is very flattering, so I appreciate that. And then swag. A lot of people picking up the Mott t-shirt. 5, 10 more orders last night I saw. Mott t-shirt rocking. We've also made some decisions that, we're getting pounded on wristband requests, but we're getting murdered on the $3 that it costs us to basically send them out for free. So there will be a situation where I think we're gonna start selling the wristbands at our cost, so look for that. Other than that, really appreciate you guys supporting the show. I gotta give you something interesting. Oh, is 500 sold out? Do you know? Like, is it RSVP'd out?
I don't know.
Well, then link it up, Mott. We're gonna link up episode 500. Come and see us in San Francisco. Please do that. That's next week. Is that this week? Yes, that's this week. On Thursday in San Fran. Come and see the Monster and Us. You need to come to episode 500 live taping. The day before, that day, episode 499 airs. And I'm gonna tell you right now, please email all your friends, anybody who's ever watched Wine Library TV. Episode 499 is probably the most epic episode. It's gonna be more epic than 500. It very much, 600 people in attendance for 500 might get me jazzed. Check it out. Question of the day. By the way, I'm just gonna let it be known now. These are gonna be so rare, but I am gonna keep a little batch for one thing. I'm randomly gonna pick one episode and not tell you which one, and go back and give every person that left a comment a wristband. That's one way to really do it, isn't it, Mott? Question of the day, and I'm very fascinated by this. Help me out. I'm always wondering what people do on the 4th of July when they're kicking it with their friends and family. What was the best and worst wine you had this weekend? Because you, with a little bit of me and a whole lot of sniffing, we're changing the wine world.